So we're gonna have a look at these trees that are in this courtyard here. And what we're looking at is the honey locust, Gleditsia triacanthos. So we can look at a few things. One of the things you might notice is that it kind of has this open, sort of spreading crown, and that the crown itself is a little bit less dense looking than some other tree crowns. And they kind of have this sort of like, I don't know, a little bit zigzaggy branching pattern. Kind of see that, how the branches, some of them zig and zag back and forth. So that's really typical. These trees are quite popular in the landscape because they don't cast very dense shade. The leaves are very small and they're compound leaves, so when they fall apart in the autumn, there's really not much left to see. But we can look at a few other features. One is the bark, which even though these are fairly young trees, we got quite cracked, creviced, and furrowed bark. So this will get even more cracked and creviced as this tree gets older. Another thing we can look at is these bean pods. So you can see they're very large. They're much, much larger than my hand. So the tree that this is commonly mistaken with is the black locust, Robinia, pseudoacacia, but that tree has very small, kind of rounded bean pods, whereas this one has very, very large, and they're quite pointed at each end, and they can also even sometimes have this sort of spiraling or twisting nature to them. So the bean pods are very different on the honey locust from the black locust. The honey locust can sometimes have thorns, but there's lots of thornless varieties out there. So you might or might not see thorns. And I'm just gonna grab one more branch. I have to stand up here. Oh, try not to fall off here. That's the problem with trees, is they prune off all the lower branches. So you can see here we have buds that are quite different from many other trees. There's no really large or distinct terminal bud. It kind of has this bud that's described as sort of being withered looking. And when we look at the lateral buds, again, they're very small, sort of sunken into the branch itself, with a leaf scar that sort of is three-pointed or three-lobed. Yeah, but you can see again, the terminal buds and the lateral buds are all very small and sort of sunken in. And there goes my branch. But yeah, so those are sort of the more distinctive traits of the honey locust. The large bean pods, the very rough bark, the kind of open, spreading crown, and then the buds that are very small. The terminal bud is sometimes described as looking withered looking. So yeah, that's what to look for when you're looking at the honey locust.